Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Chaos Hero Nightmare video. This is Mr. Squirrel, as always. Glad to have you here. This is a Yuki's first impression video. I'm going to talk a little bit about her kit, what she wants to do, who are her best teammates, and then talk through a little bit about whether or not you should summon. We're going to do some trials so I can show her in action. Luckily, we can test these characters out before we summon for them. I appreciate the devs for doing that. That's totally based. So you can get a feel as to whether or not you like this character. Okay, let's talk about her cards. So what is she doing? She is essentially drawing cards, and you want to draw as many cards with her to trigger her inspiration effect. All of her cards are about kind of this ebb and flow where you want to send cards back, bring cards in, and get these inspiration effects triggering to reduce the cost of cards, do more damage. And she is primarily doing AoE based damage. It is for this reason that Nia is probably going to be one of her best supports because she'll allow her Yuki to attack more often because of her decibels. I think Nia and Yuki are going to be hand in hand combos that you're always going to pair up. I also think Cassius will be a great character to pair with them. The one thing that's really interesting about Yuki is that you really want her attacking by herself, or she really would just wants to be surrounded and doused in support. That's what Yuki wants. She's very much like a hyper carry. I keep Freudian slipping calling her Rin because Rin is very similar. Rin just wants to be attacking by herself. She just wants to be the main attacker. She wants supports dousing her in support, giving her as many cards as she can, and then using those cards. Yuki, exactly the same way, except with Yuki, you want to be drawing these cards to trigger more effects and make these cards even stronger. You want to be constantly triggering these inspiration effects. She's going to do this a number of ways. Here, she's got a one way to draw cards is this skill. She's got the Trickery Strike, which is another way she can activate an inspiration card in her hand. The Flash Slash and the Iceberg Cleave are going to be your two main forms of AoE damage. And then the Freeze Blade is going to be your upgrade, which allows her to do more AoE damage. There are different epiphanies. The Flash Slash it increases its damage, but also gives it the ability to reduce its cost when inspiration is triggered. The Freeze upgrade we'll talk about, or the Freezing Blade. There's many different ways you can do this. You can increase its damage. You can also, I like this version of it, 130% damage to a random enemy. The reason I like this one is because it kind of helps her with that single target damage. One of the things I'm going to say is that she does struggle with single target damage. So when you're going against a high HP boss, if there's one enemy, she could struggle a little bit in that scenario. And that's something to take note of, is that when the boss has a lot of waves that you need to clear, there's a lot of enemies in a battle stage, then she's going to be very beneficial. She's really good at clearing out. Where I see her struggling, though, is going to be when you need to just hyper focus on a specific character. And any way you can kind of modify these abilities to help you out in those situations is going to be incredibly important. Okay, I'm going to say this. I think Nia is going to probably be one of her best supports simply because of the decibel system where she allows an enemy to allies to attack, as well as her ability to draw a lot of cards. In that light, I think Cassius is also going to be one of her best partners too, because of how much he can allow the team to draw. She really wants characters that assist her in this drawing process. It's important to take note of that. So with Cassius, you want him at definitely E2. Nia, you almost really want her at E6, because that's where you're getting all this healing from. Because remember, your supports need to be keeping you sustained as well, and that's where I think Cassius Cassius E2, and then Nia. I don't know if you fully need her E6, but you could get her to Awakening 6, and it would really help you out with the healing on that team. So overall, we're gonna see her in action. I think she's good. I do think she's gonna struggle in single target though, and I could be wrong, but based on my preliminary tests and running her with different comps, it really does seem like she is going to struggle a little bit with single target. Let's go take a look at her in the trial situation, and then I want to take a look at her with what I think would be the better team. All right, let's go take a look. Okay, here we go. So this is in the trial. We can just see her cards doing what they're going to do. All right, let's get the Freezing Blade up. Now, we didn't draw. Now, this is one of those situations where I didn't draw what I was looking for. So we're just going to use her card outright, like No inspiration effect triggered. It is what it is. Unfortunately, it sucks when that happens. See, this is a situation you are going to run into. Um, let's do the zero cost. See what I pull. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna get this. She's gonna do 60% damage to everybody because of the freezing blade. Then we're gonna do the trickery strike, and that'll trigger the ice. There we go, the iceberg cleave. And this is such like boom. There we go. Boom. Okay, so you see that, and then there's the 60% damage because the inspiration effect was triggered. Okay. We'll do the same thing again. Okay, good. We got the flash slash. Trigger the inspiration effect. This should give me. Yep, there's a 60% damage. We'll do another trickery strike, and then we'll do the triggered effect now because I triggered the inspiration effect, which is going to give another 60% damage bonus. Yeah, so in AoE situations, which we're seeing right here, she's very good, but we will see her struggle more in single target. All right, let's see what we can draw. Okay, good. I got the iceberg cleave. All right, let's do this. Get +1 hit. Okay, let's see what we can draw here. Draw 2. Let's go here and here. All right, we got some decibels up. Get the freezing strike. And then we're going to discard. I'm going to discard this because I don't need it, and then I'll just have her attack. Okay. See, that attack is really nice. Nia being there really does help Yuki do more with her kit, just because we'll proc this. I'm just going to do this. We'll proc the RPG. All right, let's see if we can actually. So this is this card for Yuki. There we go. Because this will auto give her the inspiration. Boom, it activates the card, and then we'll do damage to everybody. Okay. Now, mind you, Lucas is also on the banner with her. He's okay. I mean, I wouldn't recommend him on this team. Let's see. Okay, let's look at this. Chord 1, check the top card, choose 1, activate it. All right, let's see what we can get here. We'll go here, Iceberg Cleave. Boom. A nice AoE damage. Again, Nia is going to be your best friend. Nia's Curiosity. What can we get? Let's draw this, and then we get a flash slash. Boom shakalaka. We'll do the big. We'll do the flashbang. Okay. Again, AOE situation here. So again, this is Nia. Like this is Yuki's best. Like, let's do this. I think I have enough. So we'll go here. Iceberg Cleave into Trickery Strike. Do we? Oh, I guess we're over. Yep. I think overall, again, very good. Thrives in AoE situations. Let's hear with actually Nia and Cassius now. Okay, so this is the Nia and Cassius pairing with her. All right, so let's pop up this. Let's pop the upgrades. I think this will be enough. We're just gonna get every upgrade going right now. Okay, perfect. All the upgrades are up. We can just, and now in the next couple of turns we'll just draw. And the goal will be to just kind of get Yuki going as fast as possible here. All right, let's see this. A card in hand, heal, activate one of the lowest cards with the lowest cost. I think we'll just do this. We'll do the activate the lowest cost, and we'll get the heal, and then we'll do the flash slash. Because again, this is that issue that I'm having. Like, if you aren't able to trigger those inspirations, like yes, you can just do the cards outright, but you do lose some of their, like a lot of their value. You also lose Yuki's ability to do follow ups, which again, very problematic. Okay, let's do Nia's Curiosity. Okay, we'll bring this in. Perfect. That does activate the flash slash. All right. And now we want to do. Let's see. Can we draw? Activate the lowest cost. Hmm. Okay, let's see what we can get here. Okay, this activates this. Wasn't what I was looking for. Okay, it is what it is. All right, we're not pulling what we need to right there. Hmm. I think we can just end this here. All right, we'll do Cassius and we'll get some quests going here. Let's activate the quests. Okay, now we have a single target. Now this is what's important about this. We'll have a single target and we can see how this damage kind of compares. All right, we're gonna do this. Get some more drawing going. Okay, we get the flash slash, free splash slash. We'll get that. All right, let's see. We'll do Nia's Curiosity. What do we get? Okay, we'll do this. Okay. Let's draw some more. All right, we're going to shuffle. Okay, we're shuffling. Bringing those back. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, bring everything back. Lowest. Oh, that was not the smartest play to do there. Okay, no, we got rid of it. Okay, we're fine. Again, notice the damage here. All right, this is going to activate all inspirations in hand. Perfect. That's a 0 cost. That'll get that. Okay. Yeah, her damage in a single target is not impressive. Like, it's really. I'm not liking her single target damage. This is even supposed to be like in her own event, and I'm just really unimpressed with that single target and the ability. Granted, is my supports cards not the best here? No, they're not the best, but at the same time, it just feels like I'm really relying on trying to get these. Okay, we get a draw. Wow. Okay, not the greatest here. We'll just keep activating cards. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep activating cards so I can see if I can get those decibels up. Oh. We're gonna. Oop, that was not what I meant to do. It is what it is. I pressed the wrong button there. Actually, you know what? We're gonna redo that turn. Give me a minute. That was a misclick on my part. So if we go back here, we're gonna hit the trickery strike. Okay, great. 0 cost. And then get these things going. Yeah, look at this single target. It's really not. I'm really not liking the single target, guys. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay, we'll do this. We'll do this. And then I'm going to actually use her ego skill here as well. Activate the lowest cost. This will give the free flash slash. Okay. We'll use Nia's. Okay. And then we'll go here and we'll end this pretty soon. I got this. I think she's good, and I think I'm. There's a lot more that goes into her kit. I'm just not that impressed with what she's doing right now. Okay, we'll do this, and I'm gonna get as many of these things up and running, get those decibels going. It just if the cards don't go her way, which right now they aren't, she feels like she struggles. Now, the thing I want to highlight about her kit is that at Awakening Memory 2, so this is if you've pulled her 3 times total, you'll have 3 copies of the character. She gets at the start of battle, activates inspiration for cards of this unit drawn at the start of the turn for 2 turns. So for the first 2 turns, those inspiration effects will always be procced. That, when you're watching how she's operating, almost feels it will alleviate a lot of that stress in the beginning to get her going, and not even get her going. She is very much just like, you just want to trigger these inspiration effects as fast as possible and get in that ebb of flow of drawing and sending and getting those inspiration triggering. And it can feel at points, if you're not drawing these abilities, or you don't have draw abilities, or you're just not getting lucky with what you're drawing, she can feel very lackluster, at least in this initial attempt. Again, this is a first impressions video. This is initially, she feels underwhelming. Also, I'm just not a big fan of the play style. Some people might love the whole drawing and, getting new effects when you're drawing. If that's you, do you. But for me, I'm just not the biggest fan. And so for me, I was not enjoying my playing with Yuki at all. First impressions are she seems cool. I think there will be a lot of players that'll like her. I'm just not a fan of her playstyle. And I really, you know, her AoEs feel when you got a single target, her AoEs feel very lackluster. I feel like another Jing Liu situation. Really cool animations. The animations are on point. I'm just not having fun with this character. That's just the general take I'm having right now. That's my overall impressions. Hope it helps, folks. And as always, remember, failing is your first attempt at learning.